Hey, how's it going? It's Jeff. I've got a giant stack of comics in this bag from, it says GalaxyCon. This is a convention that's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, May 29th. I'm not trying to promote this thing, so I don't really care. This is the bag that I had from the comic book store over the weekend. I have a bunch of stuff here from the past month or so, and from Free Comic Book Day. So I thought I would just kind of go through these books and show you what I got. And yeah, anyway, so first book on this pile, Battle Beast number 8. I don't have any other issues of this, but I really like Ryan Ottley's artwork, and I mean this character is super cool looking, and I've read some Invincible, and I've seen the show and everything, so I'm familiar with this character, but I haven't read this book yet. But I will very soon. I haven't read any. Well, that's not true. I've read a couple of these books that are in this pile, but yeah, I feel like I hopped on this a little late. This might be one I'll have to get as a trade paperback whenever that comes out. But just love the artwork. Checking out all these other alternate covers here. So that's the first book in the pile. I should put these in some kind of order before I started recording, but I didn't. Okay. Man, can I move this light so it doesn't get a big glare? That ought to work. You can still see that, right? All right, so I got this book, Comics the Magazine. I actually bought the second issue of this first, which is in this pile somewhere. Here it is. Also kind of what inspired me to buy this book, because it's got the Battle Beast on the cover and an interview with Ryan Ottley, right? Isn't it? Yeah, interview with Ryan Ottley and Robert Kirkman. So I don't know if you've seen this one or not at the comic book store or looked through it or anything, but it's basically these guys trying to kind of bring back Wizard magazine, basically. It's very similar to Wizard. It's much, it's a much smaller book. It's the size of like a regular comic book. But it's got articles and interviews. It even has in the back, let's see if we can, here it is, the top 10 artists and writers. Which I feel like over the last 30 years, all the artists and writers from the 90s have talked about how much this is just BS. But still kind of fun, though, to me. I don't really mind. But, yeah. Here's the top 10 artists and writers from 2 months ago. They have interior artists and cover artists separately, so. But, yeah. And then, I don't know if there's a difference in, let's see if there's any difference in the artists and writers in the second issue. Yeah, a little bit. It's like a little bit different, but it's like mostly the same people, just in a slightly different order. But yeah, I don't know, it's kind of fun. I don't know if I'll keep buying this, but I thought it was like a fun thing to check out. Here's a book that I got from a friend of mine. He gave this to me as a gift because he knows I'm a fan of Elvira and the creature from the Black Lagoon. The Shape of Elvira, number 1. So my buddy is a huge fan of this artist, and he actually was telling me how much he loves this book, Afterlife with Archie. It's the same artist. You're probably watching this going like, yeah, we all know this one. Francisco Francavilla. Francavilla. But yeah, this guy's artwork is awesome. I'm very familiar with this book. I've never actually read it myself, but I remember when this was coming out, and I had friends that were reading it and tell me how great it was, and I don't know why. I just kept thinking like at some point I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna read it. And when my friend was telling me how much this is like his favorite comic book of all time, and so I was like, all right, I gotta get it. I gotta finally like dive into this. But he's not the interior artist on this, but he did do the cover art. And so my buddy had like a couple of copies of this and thought I would like it, and he was right. So dig into those. And I'm kind of like trying to put this in some kind of order. All right, I got this for, you're gonna see an obvious reason why I got this. If you know me, that is. If you don't know me, you're probably like, I don't know. It's not that obvious. No, but I'm a huge fan of Eric Larson, so and I always loved this version of Spider-Man from the Revenge of the Sinister Six. And I have the action figure of this guy. Anyway, I just thought the cover was awesome, so I bought it for that. And then, you know, there's some cool interior art. This artist that's been doing Spider-Man lately is really good. Let's see, look up his name. See, I didn't prepare for this whatsoever. I just grabbed a stack of comic books and started recording. Pepe Larraz. Well, anyway, he's a really good artist. And there's also several other artists in here too, but like Humberto Ramos. So I can recognize his just by looking at it. Yeah. Who's this guy? This almost has like a... Oh, it's Pepe Larraz as well. All right, so I guess he's... Anyway, Spider-Man Superman #1 with the Eric Larson variant cover. Let's save these crap-free comic book day books for later, for the end of the thing. I picked this up, Tony Millionaire's Oddballs Odyssey #1. I've never bought any of Tony Millionaire's stuff, but he has some very like famous big name fans like Elvis Costello, Patton Oswalt, Charles Burns, Pendleton Ward, Elvis. Well, I already said Elvis Costello. Anyway, but I just thought this artwork was really cool, and I also love that this book is printed on newsprint. I don't know. I just think this is just a really great looking book. And I read part of this, and it's interesting. Anyway, I'd like to dig into that again soon. What else we got here? Oh, pick this up. Again, haven't had time to look at any of these really yet. Picked this up on Free Comic Book Day at Rick's Comic City in Nashville. Bought it. I guess I just keep repeating myself. Bought it for the artwork. I mean, I buy pretty much every book for the artwork. But I think this guy's got a really cool style. It looks great. And it's printed to look like it's on newsprint, but it's not on newsprint. Oh, I picked this up on Free Comic Book Day at Rick's. I thought the cover jumped out at me. I was just like, oh, that's such a cool looking cover. Like, this version of Spider-Man or Carnage, I guess. Looks super cool. And I love Ed McGuinness. He's an amazing artist. Cool splash. Another cool splash. Yeah. I don't know what's going on in Spider-Man these days, but it looks good. Let's see what else we have here. I got this at the comic book store this past Wednesday, so yesterday. Just got it because it's a Sam Keith cover. I love Sam Keith. Rest in peace. Yeah, just thought it was a cool Sam Keith piece to pick up. I got this Creep Show book with the McFarlane inspired cover. But let's take a look at the inside a little bit. Let's see. I wonder. Well, this is great artwork too. Man, these guys are just killing it on the artwork, right? Ooh, I like that Wolfman. I have to pick that up. I picked up this issue of The Crow. Crow Dead Time. It's not The Crow like the original, but it looks nice. I love the cover art. James O'Barr's a really great artist. Got to meet him once, or well, a couple times actually. But unfortunately, he didn't do the interior right. Not that this is bad though. This is pretty good. But yeah, cover's great. Okay, I got these two. Lobo 1 and 2. I thought that maybe I'd already talked about these on a previous video, so if I did, I apologize. So I'll try to make this kind of quick, just in case I have already talked about them, but yeah. Pretty cool stuff. Where's that? I just noticed there's like a little ding in the top corner. I don't collect comic books to like make money or anything like that. I don't care about the value of a comic, but I do care about the presentation of it. I like my comics to be in good shape, and it bugs me when there's like a tiny little ding like that in the corner that you probably can't even see on the camera. But this guy's artwork is cool. It kind of reminds me of Keith Giffen from back in the 90s when he was doing Trencher. I read part of the first issue. It was pretty funny. So, yeah, there it is. Lobo 1 and 2. Alright. So, this is another one I could have sworn I already talked about, but I looked at the last video and I just kind of scrolled through it really quick, and I didn't see where I didn't see it on there, so forgive me if I've already talked about this. I got 3 versions of this Marvel team-up with Spider-Man and Invincible. These were the 3 artists that I liked the most who did the covers, and also I thought these were the best looking covers. So got Ryan Ottley, Todd McFarlane, and Corey Walker. So yeah, these look great. And this is an awesome Spider-Man drawing, but it's basically the exact same pose from Spider-Man number 16, which was McFarlane's last Spider-Man book. So if you compare this to that cover, it's basically the same drawing, but or at least the same pose. Alright, I gotta adjust this. Oh, but I actually did read this book. And it's a fun story. And it's also funny because it ties in to Invincible. To the, if you've read Invincible, there's an issue where he goes into some kind of or Invincible goes into some kind of a portal or something, and you see Doc Ock's arms coming out. And then this shows what happens when he went into this dimension when he meets Spider-Man and they fight Doc Ock. Nothing too heavy or anything, but it was fun. It's just like a nice one-off story. Got these three. I may have talked about one of these already. I think I did, but this is the most recent one I got. These two. 4, 3, 2, and then I must have missed the first one. But I have like not an original, but I have like an old reprint of the first one of this, so now I have the full thing. Let's see if we can give this a good flip through. Classic McFarlane stuff. Printed on newsprint. So it kind of looks and feels similar to the original printing of this. So there we go. Okay, and now we're on to the free comic book day books. So these are all the freebies I got. I got this Garfield book, which I got paint on it immediately when I got home, but no big deal. Just, you know, nice little Garfield comic, and this artist really nails the Jim Davis style. Like, it looks like Jim Davis drew this, but it's Gary Barker. Picked up the Amazing Spider-Man Comics giveaway day. So if you're watching this, you're probably already aware of this, but I'll just talk about it for a second. Apparently, when Diamond went out of business, they they weren't really sure if Free Comic Book Day was going to continue on. But there's two other distributors. I think one of them is Penguin Books, and I forget what the other one is. But they're distributing these comics now, and they decided to carry on the Free Comic Book Day tradition and put these books out. But like I said, there's two distributors. So one distributor is Comics Giveaway Day, and the other one is Free Comic Book Day. So I got this, the nice house on the lake. Just thought this kind of spooky, it'd be a fun book to look through. I think the splash page is what made me go like, all right, I'll pick this up and check it out. Got the Masters of the Universe book. I actually did not pick this up for the artwork. I'm not trying to like insult anybody's art style or anything, but I got it because it's He-Man, and I'm a lifelong He-Man fan. I got this Alien Planet of the Apes and Predator book. I got this. The future is, I don't know. Is this supposed to be like, am I supposed to just put in a cuss word here or something? I don't know. I don't know what this book is about, but I love the design of this. Thought the cover looked good. Looked kind of interesting, so artwork's pretty cool. So, you know, I thought it would be worth checking out, especially for free. Got the Mark Spears Monsters Free Comic Book Day book. Man, this guy's books have been super popular. And you would think that this is something that, you know, right up my alley that I would love, but there's something about it that just kind of, I don't know. Like, I like the covers to some of these. Like, I think this cover looks really cool. I like this little comic art that he's actually got on the cover here, but he's showing kind of how he does it. He does like a 3D model of the character and of all the characters. And so uses it. I would like to read this interview actually. I don't know. There's something about it. I like the artwork in some respects. Like this looks cool. There's some good stuff in here, and I've got a few other of these books too. But like, I kind of hate blind bag stuff, and he does a lot of like blind bag comics with this thing. And it's, I don't know. It's kind of bugged me. But I will say I appreciate anybody who makes monster comics that are based on like the Universal monsters, so glad to have that one. Just thought that was a cool cover. Looks like this dude's kind of driving a red DeLorean. Written by Robert Kirkman. At least two of these stories are. Yeah, cool artwork, great coloring. Oh, let's look at the full. Yeah, oh, that's cool. Ultimate Oz Universe. It's a little, kind of interesting. Again, artwork looks great. And I think this is the last one in this pile. Oh, all of these comics just fell that I put up there. All right, Fort Psycho, Flex House double feature, and Mind Management. See, this part of what appealed to me for this one is I couldn't see any credits, but this looks like Jeff Lemire art. Let's see. Am I missing it? Hang on. No, it's not Jeff Lemire. But it's Jeff Lemire. It looks like his style. It looks like he drew it. But, I don't know. But I like this art a lot. I think this looks cool. Alright. Well, my wife is home, so that means it's time to hang out and have some dinner. But thanks for watching my latest comic book video. See ya.